On September 16th in 1810, a priest by the name of Miguel Hidalgo Castilla, apologies for my pronunciation, he rang his church bell in Dolores, Mexico, and that officially kicked off the Mexican War of Independence. Now, this event is commonly referred to as El Grito, with the president of Mexico reenacting this event every year on Mexican Independence Day. And this year, Jordan Brand is celebrating the special day with 2 pairs of Jordan 5s, one of which I'm reviewing today. Air Jordan 5 El Grito. Now, the shoe is dropping on September 12th for $210 in the United States. Mexican Independence Day is on the 16th. So I'm not sure why they didn't release it slightly earlier so people can actually get this shoe in hand before Mexican Independence Day. Shipping usually takes a little bit longer than like 4 days. Yeah, just too much logic for Jordan Brand. Too much logic. It's like Halloween, when they release shoes for Halloween like in November. Makes no sense. Nada. But September the 12th it is. And first impressions of this shoe, Jordan 5 is easily my favorite sneaker. And this colorway, it is very clean. I think it is very nice. It is on theme, on brand. Storytelling is well done on the shoe, but it's not super bold, not super out there. The red and green Mexican colors can be pretty bold, just like on a sneaker. If it was like all green or all red, it can be pretty loud. But I think the execution in terms of the colorway is really well done. The patterns are subtle, but you can definitely notice it. And it's very obvious what the theme is as well. Yeah, I still have my little nitpicks and complaints, but overall, yeah, it is pretty delicious. Now, this is one of 2 colorways. The other one, I think, is going for like a taupe haze color. I'm not sure what that looks like yet. No official images have been released, at least at the time of recording. So I'm definitely keeping my eye out on that one. Now, if you didn't know, the Jordan 5 was originally inspired by the Mustang fighter jet. So you see this very, very aggressive design on the Jordan 5. It is my favorite sneaker. I just love how it looks. It's super bulky. It still looks very like 90s, but I just really love the shape and just how aggressive it is. So the upper of this shoe, it is entirely leather. And the leather, I must say, it is nice, especially around this toe box area, as well as the overlays. You can really see the grain and the texture of the leather come through, and it doesn't feel like super thin. Kind of reminds me of that leather that you found on the We The Best Jordan 5s, those DJ Khaled Jordan 5s, which were actually very nice colorways, but the booty, that wasn't it. On the ankle collar area, they're slightly different, so you see that kind of more polyurethane coated leather. And of course, the most distinct thing about this Jordan 5, it is the Mexican theme. So you see on the heel counter of the shoe, the Mexican-inspired architectural designs and patterns, and you'll see that on the toe box area as well. And another place where you'll see that is the tongue of the shoe. So obviously this tongue is not 3M, unlike a lot of general release Jordan 5s. You'll also see these Mexican-inspired patterns with a Jumpman stitched right in the middle. And you do get mismatched lace locks. That's obviously the same color as the Mexican flag, totally on theme. I always take it off when I actually wear a Jordan 5, it just kind of gets in the way. I don't see the point of it. Now, one of the more distinct things about the Jordan 5, it is the netting on the side of the shoe. This shoe kind of modifies it, so you don't see that traditional plastic TPU netting. This one is actually leather with like cut out holes and ventilation, so quite different there. And you also see netting leading up to the tongue, so that cream color behind the laces. That kind of material is more traditional to like a regular Jordan 5. So they modified the sides, but not the tongue. And then on the bottom, you'll see a different and unique laced embray. It says Viva, obviously a very famous saying, Viva Mexico, long live Mexico. Another place where we'll see mismatched branding, it is on the shark teeth on the Jordan 5s. So on one shoe, on the lateral side, you'll see green, and then on the medial side, you'll see red. The other shoe, it just flips it around. So yeah, this shoe is just very, very on brand. And one thing that is also different than like a regular Jordan 5, you see that lining inside the tongue, as well as the ankle collar. It's got a very unique and special pattern. And then also inside the tongue, you'll see an Air Jordan tag, again, staying true to theme of Mexican colors. And then moving on to the booty of the shoe, this is not an OG colorway, so just a Jumpman on the back. And this shoe out of the box comes with this kind of creamy sail laces. No extra laces for this Jordan 5. I would have really appreciated like Mexican themed laces. The shoe, I feel like itself has executed a Mexican theme pretty well, but I just feel like 2 extra set of laces, one in red, one in green, would have really kind of completed the theme. Don't know why they just stuck to like sail laces out of the box. They had to cheap out. they had to cheap out. Now the Jordan 5 does come with a polyurethane midsole with a visible Nike Air unit on the heel, as well as a Nike Air unit on the forefoot. And yes, the midsole of the shoe, it is sail. I must refrain. I must refrain. No more complaining about sails on a shoe that doesn't really need sail. Husa. Husa. So it does have a sail midsole, but it does have one of my favorite things on sneakers. Definitely something that I really started to like as I got older. It is gum bottoms. Not the cutout, obviously, but the herringbone traction on the Jordan 5. It is gum bottom. And I love how that looks. Just really, really nice. Oh, that looks good. And the cutout over here, it is Jordan as well. Not an OG colorway. Usually for OG colorways, you get Nike branding, but Jordan it is. I do kind of wish they did something custom here. Maybe put El Grito on this area here. They could have been more creative, but yeah, not a huge deal. And the insole of the shoe, it is just a regular Dreamstyle insole, so it's not the best. And the box of the shoe, it is themed as well. You cannot mistake it. It is definitely Mexican inspired. Paper inside is different as well. Mexican colors. Yeah, just a great job. Now moving on to sizing comfort, I am a wide and flat footer. For Jordan 5s, I usually just go to size. It is, in my opinion, the best and most comfortable Jordan retro sneaker, at least from Jordan 1 to 14. It just fits my feet really well. The ankle collar is very padded. The tongue, because it's not like a 3M tongue where sometimes that 3M can come very stiff and it just really digs into your ankles. This one didn't really have any problems with that. I will say because of the materials that's used, it is embossed and textured, so it's slightly more stiff, not as soft as some like non-3M tongues on Jordan 5s, but it doesn't bother me too much. And in terms of the cushioning, super old technology, polyurethane, 2 Nike Air units, still relatively close to the ground. I don't mind that too much. And it is a slightly heavier shoe. If you're not used to like Jordan retros and you're more used to like modern day shoes, this might be too heavy for you. But as someone that grew up during this time, I just think Jordan 5s are just very, very comfortable. And that brings the total sole score of the Air Jordan 5 El Grito to 43 out of 50. A very high score compared to other special releases. Now first, it is colorway. I really appreciate what they've done. I don't love that sail, but I'm used to it by now, or at least I'm trying to restrain myself from complaining too much about random sail on shoes that doesn't need it. But overall, this white upper, or maybe it's off-white with hints of Mexican colors, not too much, where it becomes super loud and just too out there, with this kind of bronze colored tongue as well as the Jumpman. Yeah, I just think the colorway is really well done. Now in terms of materials, I am very pleased with the leather on this shoe. You can really feel and see the texture, especially around the toe box. And the embossed part looks and feels pretty detailed. Yeah, overall I'm pleased with the materials on the shoe. In terms of comfort, the Jordan 5 fits my feet pretty much perfectly. It is my preferred Jordan retro shoe. If you don't like kind of heavier shoes, might not be it for you, but just in terms of the snugness and the padding all around your feet, I think that's really the highlight in terms of comfort for the shoe. Now in terms of versatility, Jordan 5s arguably are still pretty athletic looking. I really do think though, it's probably the last Jordan brand shoe that really crossed over into like casual mainstream wear. I think from the Jordan 6 onwards, it just seems too much like a basketball shoe. But the Jordan 5s, I think, are still pretty wearable. And in terms of the wearability of the colorway, majority white sneaker, hints of green and red and bronze. None of those are like too out there, doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. I think the wearability of the colorway is on point. And then in terms of the storytelling, I think they did a really good job. In terms of the box, as well as the colors on the shoe, the debray, the special lining that's used inside the ankle collar, and the embossed patterns on the heel counter as well as the toe box, as well as the tag inside the tongue. Maybe could have included like special branded insoles, or at least better quality insoles at the very least. But overall, for a non-collaboration, the storytelling is really well done. Mexican culture and heritage is super fascinating. I grew up on the other side of the world. I don't think I knew a single Mexican person growing up, but in the 7 or nearly 8 years that I've been in the US, it's really opened my eyes up to Mexican culture, the food, the culture, the people, the hospitality. And I feel like just in terms of the execution of this Mexican independence themed Jordan 5, it is really a job well done. So that's it. Thanks for watching. So inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 5 El Grito. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come. The way of shoes.